you doing, Bib Dublin? 2019 to 2020 year group. I hope you're all keeping very well and staying safe as usual. Again, thank you for showing up to the classes online this week, and again, only online due to these current restrictions. And today is now February the 5th, so we're here for at least another month, because that's what the medical people are telling us to do, to try and flatten that curve and taking the strain off all the doctors, and hopefully that soon we'll be able to get back to some kind of normal. But it might take a little bit of a while though, because I did hear that it might go on beyond March the 5th. I don't know exactly, but let's just keep hoping and just keep pushing on what we're being told to do. Anyway, what I thought I'd do now is give you the next Masterclass episode on the songs I've written, and this one I'm going to talk about, and it's a special one because not only did I write this one around this time last year, but more to the fact that this is a song about a very talented girl band who's celebrating their 10-year anniversary this year, but despite only 3 in the band, so it will most likely be the final full-length year of their time together as a group. So this song is for the Godmothers of Friendship. So, as always, I'm going to do the same thing as before. Talked about how I got the title. Then I give you some of the lyrics. Well, I might give you all the lyrics of this one because this is such a special song to me. Then I play the melody on the guitar. And then I play it on my keyboard with the drum machine sound. So, the title, The Godmothers of Friendship. Inspired by the Keith Moon Final 24 documentary, where the narrator was describing The Who as the Godfathers of Punk, just while they were playing My Generation in the background. And then Alice Cooper, who had a birthday yesterday, was describing how it was a tidal wave of bands coming from England. And then after he had his part in the documentary spoken, the narrator then said, The Who were the Godfathers of Punk. So then what I decided to do for my song was to have the Godmothers of something, and then the word that consistently came to my mind was friendship. Because obviously Little Mix had the best friendship on the planet. So that just shows that I think it was that friendship is the right word to describe the 4 of them together until towards the end of 2020. So that's how I got the title for the song. Next we get the lyrics. So a lot to talk about in this one. The first verse goes, since I was 13, these girls were on TV screen. So obviously I was 13 when Little Mix were on The X Factor. And when I said since, it was just basically since they were basically formed, basically, is what I wanted to say it as. For the since I was 13, these girls were on TV screen. Next we have, these girls cure my depression thanks to each member's impression. So whenever I'm feeling down or sad or whatever, and if there's any way that I can have to cheer me up again, I have the girls' friendship to look on. Which I think is a good sign of hope for that. So, and also the impression, each member's impression is very funny. Like, and I think it makes me laugh too. It's good to have like some humor every once in a while from the girls. Right, so the next bit goes, there's great chemistry between them. Glory Days is a mighty gem. So obviously, as I said, the friendship that they have is just unbeatable. And the 2016 album Glory Days is such a mighty gem. I'll just show it to you right here. What a fantastic album this is. I'm saying now, I recommend that if anyone hasn't heard this, I wouldn't say even go to a compilation if they ever do make compilations in the future. I would say go straight to this record because this is fantastic. That's how I said it was a mighty gem. And then that time I knew all 4 members by name with half a decade of fame. Meaning, I knew each of the 4 members' names when they had 5 years together in the music business. Right, so that's the first one. Now for the chorus, it goes, Perry, Jade, Leanne and Jessie are the greatest female quartet in the land. One of the best album covers could be them posing on sand. The Glory Days album cover kind of does have them posing on sand, but if they ever went to like a beach, they could have it as posing on sand, because the front cover of Glory Days is basically out in the desert where they filmed the Shout Out to My Ex music video. And and then when I said about the greatest female quartet in the land, the best 4-piece girl band there was of all girl bands that have existed. Right, Next we get Cancer, Capricorn, Libra and Gemini would have been a perfect album title. So inspired by the Monkees album Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn and Jones, because Davy Jones and Mike Nesmith of the Monkees are both Capricorns, to avoid confusion they put Jones's name at the end to avoid confusion. Because obviously Perry is Cancer, Jade is Capricorn, Leanne is Libra and then Jesse's Gemini. So I felt that would have been a great album title if all four were still together. And then that's why I have those are the star signs of each member, so to me it should be vital. Next is, you couldn't have this girl band separated from one another. If that was the case in life, it would be like losing your mother. So obviously, since Jessie was the oldest in the band and she's now left, it felt like they've lost their mother in a way. That's why I mentioned you couldn't have them separated from one another. Like, for example, you couldn't replace any of the Spice Girls, but you could have a good bit of an era without some of its members, which they did. They made an album without Ginger Spice, and they had an era without Posh Spice too, which was still good, but whereas you couldn't with Little Mix, because it's only 4, now they're now coming down to 3 members. Like, you could not. It only really works in 5-piece bands going down to 4, like the way it worked with Fifth Harmony. So that's that. Next we have, every time I look at and think of Little Mix, I refer to them as great looking chicks. So obviously when they're younger, they still be chicks, but when they get older, not as much. And then when they dance on stage together hip to hip, they're the godmothers of friendship, which I think is one of the best lines that I've written for a verse and a chorus. So let's go on to verse 2 now. So it goes, Perry Edwards is my celeb crush, she often makes me blush. Every time I look at an image, I get some of that. But obviously, until they get older, of course, like I've mentioned before many times. The next line then goes, like me, she's a Cancer and she's a romantic dancer. So as I've mentioned about the Cancer, Capricorn, Libra and Gemini, I'm also a Cancer too, like her. And I can also dance like her too. Well, not as much as she can do, but you know what I mean. The next bit goes, with her I have an affinity. She's born like me in society, meaning that, because here's a fun fact. I always had an affinity with Perry Edwards in the sense that she's blonde like me and she's a Cancer like me and we like some of the same music as well. So I'm like, oh wow, you sound good. So I kind of got a bit of a coincidence on that. And then the next bit goes, I hate all the people she's dated because to me they're hated. So basically I'm jealous of all the relationships that she's had with all the other men. But again, only when she's younger. When she gets older, it wouldn't be as much. I wouldn't get an experience of jealousy then when they get older. So that's that. Then it's back to the chorus. The next verse goes, Little Mix are the greatest girl band. Love and Jade and Perry hold each other's hand. Because the relationship between Jade and Perry was known as Jerry. And I loved their friendship together. It's probably my favourite friendship of just 2 members in the band. So the next bit goes, Jade Thirlwall's angelic and cute. She'd look radiant in a cowgirl suit. And speaking of which, she's on my calendar over there, Jade Thirlwall is. But you guys probably can't see it because I haven't filmed my camera onto the calendar, but it doesn't really matter. You might get to see it later on, but probably in a different one where she's on there. And Jade did look radiant in a cowgirl suit when they shot the video for No More Sad Songs. So that's that. Next we have Leanne Pinnock's a lovely person, she should never be cursing. So again, a person with a nice heart and pretty nice to everyone too. And Leanne has her documentary coming out sometime this month about how she was bullied for the colour of her skin. So then next we have Jessie Nelson is loving and fun, her dark hair can shine bright in the sun. So I always picture girls with dark hair having it brighter when they're out in the sunshine. And then obviously Jessie's very funny too and caring towards people as well. I just cannot believe that people have given her so much slack over the years. Because here's the thing, the media has always been disrespectful to Little Mix and they've become like this great artist of our generation of music from the 2010s. So, and I don't know why people are giving them so much disrespect. Alright, so the next verse goes, I'm gonna cry when they go their separate ways, it'll be the darkest of days. We had a dark day in December when Jessie Nelson left. And then, the world will be in a dark place when we miss each member's beautiful face. So when the band officially breaks up, that will be a dark place then, in my opinion. The next bit goes, especially to Perry because she melts my heart when I knew her from the start, meaning when I first knew the name Perry Edwards. And then Perry, Jade, Leanne and Jessie are each other's sister. They'd look odd in the game of Twister. So if they ever played the game of Twister and then being twisted onto one another, they'd look very odd together. Right. And I do actually have an outro verse that goes, Perry Edwards dealt with anxiety, then the dark day came to society. Because there was a video footage of her talking about the anxiety and panic attacks that she had. And then next bit goes, Jay Thurl was anorexic, at least she's not dyslexic. Because she suffered from anorexia from years ago. Then Leanne Pinnock dealt with racist trolls. People who treat her bad are just assholes. Then, obviously, because Leanne is the only black member in the band. And then Jess Nelson dealt with online abuse. She nearly met the Tombstone Blues, nearly meaning that the trolls nearly had a bad effect on her life. So, as they had on many people's lives too, not just her. So that's all of the lyrics. I decided to give the whole song because it's such a special song to me. So now what I'm going to do is play on the bit on the guitar. It's based on Twist and Shout, but the Booker T and the MG's version is what it's based on. So their version is more like this. So obviously the same Twist and Shout goes. I just only did that bit, but they go straight in for the shake it up, baby, now shake it up, baby. So they went straight in for that. And then, of course, the famous Beatles version is more. Then they go straight into the singing. And whereas I sound like this. So I have a... The bit there that went, I got a bit of inspiration from Foreigner's track Luann that goes. Like that, and it's also like the version of Joker Man that Bob Dylan did at the David Letterman show in 1983. Right, so I got the inspiration for that bit, and it also is a bit like ABBA's Mamma Mia with the with the one more look and you can hear a bell ring. Oh, my. So kind of similar for that. So that's the intro. I did the intro for the song. Now I'll go into the singing part. It goes, well, first of all, are we bored? Yeah, I mean, again, same thing. I'd like to do more what I'm doing, but unfortunately I can't because of restrictions. But we will get there very soon. Okay, so this is the song. So it goes, since I was 13, these girls were on TV screen. These girls killed my depression, thanks to each member's impression. There's great chemistry between Rory Daisies and Michael Jam. That's how I knew for members by name. With half a decade of fame. Then it goes into the chorus. The B chord. I think the music is very good and the chorus was really good too. This is one I definitely would need a band on, so I could get some of you guys from the 2019 to 2020 year group to do the instrumentation. I'll give you all the criteria pretty soon. on what was required. So now what I'm going to do is get the keyboard for you and then play it on a drum beat. This is going to be very good when it's performed live. I'd say, of all the songs I've written, this is probably the one that should end the concerts. Hopefully. I'm not sure which one I'd end with. I don't know what my set list will be in the near future. Okay, so turn this on. Now let me just go to... Maybe turn the volume down a little bit, because again, don't want to disturb my neighbours. Okay, so tempo. So I think it was 140 BPM. Let's just give it a try. Yeah, that's right. Let's maybe if we change the rhythm to rock. Let's see what it's like. That's perfect. You can tell this is a definite rock song. Okay. And what I'll do is I'll put the lyrics into the chat so you guys can sing along with the first verse. And if my voice was too low there singing, at least you can hear the voice properly when I send you the link to the recording of the song. Right, so here we go. This is the Godmothers of Friendship. Sing along. I think it works perfectly with that tempo. It's definitely 140 BPM. I think I forgot to mention that Michael Bublé does that version of Twist and Shout in the key of B as well, but live. As I said, I based the music on Twist and Shout because I think since Twist and Shout is like a good closing track, I feel this song would be perfect to close my concerts with. Because I think this song should be a perfect hit single for me as well. So there you go. That's the Masterclass episode for the Godmothers of Friendship. I just love the song so much. It's probably for me my second favorite song I've written after the Goddess of Girl Good Music, because I just think the two songs that I've written, one about Perry Edwards individually and then one about the whole band, I just think lyrically it's the two best songs that I've written, and great top line openings like the 12 days before she was 5 I was ready to be alive, and then the since I was 13 these girls were on TV screen, and these girls cure my depression thanks to each member's impression. There's great chemistry between them, Glory Days and Mighty Gem. That time I knew all four members by name with half a decade of fame. So I think the rhyming couplets really stand out in the song. So there you go, guys. And as I said, I'll put the lyrics into the chat so you can sing along with the song and send the link to the song. And I'll also send what would be required for that particular song. Like who's going to play the drums, who'll play the bass, who'll do the backing vocals and all that. I'll let you know when you get to see this video. So thank you very much, guys. And I hope you stay safe and take good care of yourself.